News Radio KMAN weather.
Right now in Manhattan, 79 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and little to no wind. Still a chance of sprinkles as we head into the evening with that high near 77. As we head overnight, a low around 62 with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow the clouds clearing out, mostly sunny with a high near 84. Wind out of the south from around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear and a low of 62 tomorrow night. Thursday, sunny and a high near 81. 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms on Friday. The game is next on News Radio KMAN.
Weather on News Radio KMAN is brought to you by Sunset Zoo. Purchase your tickets for Boo at the Zoo happening the 24th through the 26th at sunsetzoo.com.
The following is an exclusive presentation of News Radio KMAN, your home for K-State athletics. It's game time. This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Well, the Big 12 today dropped an elbow on Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables. It was funny. It was good work. The Big 12 doing it through social media. The Big 12 giving no blanks. I like that. Because it has the college football world as a whole agreeing with the Big 12 and laughing at Oklahoma. We'll get to his comments here in just a second. I think it is a funny story, although there's probably more to it than just recent history. A couple of weeks ago, K-State women's basketball getting some bad news. We'll get to a jabroni of the week here in hour number 1. Hour 2, we'll answer the question, does K-State's recent success have us feeling better about the KU game coming up in 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks, a week from Saturday in Lawrence. TV and times for men's basketball, and what it will cost you to watch every K-State men's basketball game this season on TV. Plus, later on in hour number 2 as well, we'll be joined by AEW wrestler Will Powerhouse Hobbs, who is just a genetic freak. This guy is jacked. Could have played probably 7 or 8 different sports growing up. Decided to be a pro wrestler, and he'll join us coming up at 5:40 to talk AEW Dynamite Collision in Kansas City, which will be tomorrow night. Our phone number and text line, it's the same number if you want to call or text. That's 785-537-1350. You can answer today's big question. Does recent success for K-State football and improvements have you feeling better about K-State's chances in Lawrence? Again, that is a week from Saturday. We know that is an 11 a.m. kickoff. It will be televised on TNT, which we'll talk some TV here a little bit later on in hour number 2. But again, that phone number, 785-537-1350. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate you joining us live on the live stream, and make sure to hit that subscribe button for a lot more K-State coverage coming your way. So earlier today, Brent Venables had a press conference. The press conference was just to talk about the upcoming opponent. They're going to be at South Carolina this weekend. Both teams, it's hard to say exactly where their trajectory is right now. Lenore Sellers is still playing for South Carolina, but they're not winning games. I don't know their whole storyline. I'm a little bit more familiar with Oklahoma's, or closer to home, and well, they just lost to Texas. That was a high-profile game. That was their first loss of the year. And, of course, John Mateer was kind of a big storyline because you have Chipotle workers going to reporters or reporters tracking them down to find out his status for the Red River rivalry. He plays, throws 3 first-half interceptions, and Oklahoma loses. But Oklahoma about to play South Carolina. He was asked a question just a real softball lame-o question. I hate these questions. The conference is pretty tough, huh? Oh, these games, this one-possession league. What do you think about that? I hate those questions. A waste of time. Obviously, you know what the coach is going to say. They're going to back up their conference. Well, Brent Venables, who played here, coached here, decided to take a shot at the Big 12 and said, quote, "This isn't the old Big 12 days where Oklahoma destroys everybody every single week except one game of the year." Well, first of all, if we are going to speak of recent history, two things. One, yes, that one game of the year, of course, is K-State. The reason Brent Venables had a much better second year at Oklahoma is because he didn't play K-State. I think all the scientists have agreed on that. All the talking heads have agreed on that. They've ran the numbers, folks. They've been crunched. It's because they didn't play.
Through Mitch Palm.
And through Mitch Palm, yes, because they didn't play K-State. That's the reason. K-State's won 3 of the last 4 against Oklahoma. Beat Brent Venables with Adrian Martinez running down their throat for 60 minutes. In Norman back in 2022, that was his first Big 12 game. People are laughing today at Brent Venables. The Big 12 coming through on social media, they took a member of the media of Oklahoma, took his tweet, did the quote retweet, and said, "Coach Venables lost 8 conference games in his 2 seasons in the Big 12. Didn't even put a punctuation on that sentence. Was it cold-blooded? Maybe a little bit, but who doesn't love it? Everybody's laughing at Brent Venables today, backing up the Big 12. It's not the first time the Big 12 is like, hey, somebody's coming at them, trying to poke them in the eye with an offhand comment, and then the Big 12 returns with dropping an elbow right on their soul from the top rope. Now, there's more layers to this, I think. If you do go with recent history, Brent Venables has been the head coach at Oklahoma since 2022. Bringing up one-score games, okay, every conference has one-score games. The Big 12 has more one-score games than any other conference over the last 4 years. But the SEC, Brent Venables felt this was a good way to take a shot at the Big 12. Well, Brent Venables, coached for 2 years in the Big 12, went 10-8, like the conference said earlier today on Twitter. But if you want to bring up one-score games, Brent Venables in those 2 seasons was 3-6 in one-score games. They lost to KU in Lawrence. And it doesn't matter how good KU is. I think it's still to this up until probably last year. Especially if you're Texas and Oklahoma, these big dogs, these brands. If you lose to KU, it's a cardinal sin. Brent Venables, his first year at Oklahoma, went 6-7, got to 10 wins the next year. Then the first year in the SEC, 6-7. It's been a roller coaster ride, and as Big 12 fans, this is hilarious. I'm sure even some Oklahoma fans are like, maybe we don't bring that up. But here's another layer to this. You want to talk about the old Big 12 days? For a long time, Brent Venables wasn't a part of that because he was at Clemson. Before that, though, let's remember he was at Oklahoma for 11 years. He was a defensive coordinator. He was hired by Bob Stoops, and they turned that program around. And yes, Brent Venables, to be fair, was a part of 11 years of Oklahoma football that was nearly straight-up dominance. So he has been a part of Oklahoma football that has been extremely good. In those 11 years, I think they won 6 Big 12 championships. The only championship game they lost was to K-State in 2003. But the funny part is, it seems like he's talking recent history because of his run in the Big 12 for 2 years as a head coach. Wasn't crazy successful. Last game he had as a Big 12 program was losing to Arizona in the Alamo Bowl. So I applaud the Big 12 for sticking up for itself. And I wonder, because Oklahoma really hasn't ever been asked or said, or Venables or anybody, about when it comes to the recent recent landscape of college football, especially with Cody Campbell in the fold here, representing the Big 12 and trying to, obviously eliminate the legislation on media rights that have been divvied up by the conferences instead of bringing it in as one. The SEC doesn't like Cody Campbell. The SEC doesn't like what Cody Campbell is trying to do, as in take the power away from the SEC and Big Ten. Maybe this could have been a little bit of a shot towards Cordy Campbell, especially with his money extremely paying off right now for Texas Tech. Because if you look at college football, for me, it's been a little hard to enjoy this year because K-State is having a very disappointing season. It's been kind of a chaotic year. I mean, extremely chaotic.
Yeah, just ask James Franklin.
James Franklin, 2 weeks before getting fired, was a top 5 team. But the kid can't win big games. That's his problem. He can't win big games. His head, when it comes to ceiling, crashed into it last year. It was never going to get better. The heat from the fans, and we'll get actually a little bit more later on to his buyout and what that means. But you're having a lot of mid-season firings. And by the way, Oklahoma, Texas, and others like that we expected Penn State to be at, potentially at the top of the leaderboard. I mean, at this time of the year, top 10 teams, they're getting shoved out of the way.
Florida State took a nosedive after beating Alabama.
Florida State's taking a nose. I mean, these programs are getting pushed out of the way by Cincinnati, by Miami, by Texas Tech. Like, we're seeing these teams, especially Indiana, who last year didn't beat a team with a winning record, did not beat, I believe, a top 25 team, steamrolled through the teams that they should have beat when they played somebody good, didn't play well but got to the college football playoff. We thought maybe, they're just flash in the pan. Kurt Cignetti had a great run that first year. They're spending just a third of the money that the basketball program is spending. This is a flash in the pan, 1-year deal. They're back and better than ever.
Mm-hmm. They're legit.
And Texas Tech, along with Indiana, they look like they can win a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma and Texas and is it fair to put Georgia in there? Maybe not quite yet. Alabama is on the verge, but they're playing better. But some of these teams that were supposed to be really good, and again, the darlings, the hype of college football, are getting shoved out of the way. Oregon losing at home to Indiana.
And their best win is Penn State.
Was gigantic. Yeah.
Like, they don't really have a resume win anymore with the downfall of Penn State over the last couple of weeks.
The sexiest and most fun programs right now in college football are not Blue Bloods. This is a weird college football season. Kind of a little bit of a tangent there when talking about Brent Venables, but I would say about Oklahoma, I'm going to put them on lose-out watch. They started hot. I'll give them that. They have a pretty solid defense. But they're going to play at South Carolina, which I think Oklahoma should win, but we'll see. I mean, I do
Speaking
question.
Of nosedives.
I do question how healthy John Mateer is. But they still got to go to Alabama. They got to play Mizzou, LSU.
Their schedule's pretty brutal.
Their schedule's insane. I think it's second to Florida. Just an insane schedule. But I love watching Texas and Oklahoma crumble. If it's early in the year, if it's Texas losing to Florida, or if it's a second half collapse for Oklahoma, they still, they got a very, very tough schedule still to come.
Did you like do you think The Rock would have approved of the elbow thrown by the Big 12 account?
Yeah.
To Coach Venables?
It would have been, look, wrestling fans, or if you're not, look this up on YouTube, but wrestling fans, you'll recognize this one. It was when The Rock dropped an elbow on the British Bulldog, where he was wearing some really nice shoes, and he slid across the ring, and then before that, he threw the sunglasses in the crowd, boom, boom, does the little arm thing, side to side, and then instead of stepping towards the Bulldog, he slides across the ring, drops the elbow. Yeah, it was sweet. I don't care if it's classy or not. It's a sweet move.
I'm looking it up right now as we speak. I'm going to watch it over break.
Look, this is a no-holds-barred time of college athletics. Who cares about feelings of other conferences? They started it. This is just retaliation without any repercussions. Let's take a break. Anything else you wanted to add?
I hope Oklahoma and Texas can. They stink. I don't want them to be good.
Well said. Did you know? How about this? I mean, I wonder how Oklahoma fans feel about Brent Venables. K-State fans, Do we feel like we somewhat dodged a bullet with Venables in this up and down roller coaster
it's probably
ride?
A pretty mixed bag.
It's probably mixed. There's been great for Oklahoma. There's been not so great for sure. 2 of their first 3 years with Venables, pretty rough for Oklahoma standards. I mean, for anybody's standards at a power level. But I mean, just look at. Let me ask you this. Let's say this was Kleiman's 4th year. You've played now KU 4 times, and let's say Kleiman was 1-3, and in all 3 of those losses, did not score a touchdown. How would we be feeling about Chris Kleiman at that moment?
I don't know if he would have made it to year 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Especially with 2 of those years, you go 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's chaos.
Yeah, for sure.
People are pissed.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So, I mean, like, if it gets bad this year for Oklahoma, despite their great start, good for them. Not the toughest schedule at that moment. Auburn, probably not the best, obviously. Who else did they have in the SEC before Texas? But anyway, they had Michigan in the non-conference.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't appear Michigan's that great either. They're okay. If they collapse here in the second half of the year, Brent Venables, I think his seat is going to be blazing hot. But we'll see. I think they have 6 games left.
That was their only SEC game other than Texas. Their other games, Illinois State, Temple, and Kent State.
But look at the rest of their schedule. Who do they have coming up?
South Carolina, which that
road
one,
game.
And then Ole Miss at home, at Tennessee, at Alabama, home against Missouri, home against LSU.
I mean, does that make sense why I would put them on
I can see it.
Lose out?
Especially after the South Carolina game.
Especially after South Carolina, yes. And even if you still lose out, I mean, that's a disaster of a year. It's a collapse.
Especially after the way that you started the year 5-0 with a home, or not a home, but a rivalry matchup against Texas, who had not beat a Power 4 team before they beat Oklahoma.
No, if they manage to still, I don't think I'd right now put Oklahoma in the college football playoff. It just depends how healthy they are offensively for sure, and then defensively
they would in theory
continue
be
to play really
just
well.
Outside right now, ranked number 14.
I mean, remember, Texas had a special teams touchdown in that game, so it was still not a bad day.
And Mateer played
for the
terribly.
Defense. Yeah. 2 of the 3 interceptions. I think one of the interceptions was a Hail Mary, like towards the half or something. So let's take a break. When we come back, some bad news for K-State women's basketball. They've been waiting for an answer for an insane amount of time.
Way too long.
And it was not the answer they were looking for. That's coming up next on The Game.
Tweet The Game, KMAN, or call 537-1350 and get in touch with the show. This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Don't miss Tony Award-nominated star of stage and film Matthew Morrison. Known as Mr. Schuster in Fox's Golden Globe-winning television show Glee at Kansas State University's McCain Auditorium. Matthew Morrison presents his new show, Rhythms and Revelations, October 21st at 7:30 p.m. Buy tickets by phone or click online. Sponsored by Shelley Carver at Edward Jones.
In Manhattan, building community means more than bricks and beams. It means innovation and partnership. At McCown Gordon Construction, we deliver feature-focused solutions to projects that shape our region. From advanced research labs to vibrant education, healthcare, and community hubs. We're not just building projects, we're building the future of the Flint Hills with unmatched customer experience and value-driven strategies. We're building for tomorrow. Visit kansas.mccown-gordon.com.
American Family Insurance.
At American Family Insurance, your small business is a big deal to us. You face challenges and you work hard to achieve your goals. As your American Family agent and business owner right here in your community, I've faced that too. I've built my business with the vision of helping you protect yours. Contact us today to see how we can protect what you've worked so hard to build with customized coverage that fits your needs. This is Rob Wild, agent at Wild & Associates, LLC.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Take a trip down memory lane with the smell of Grandma's delicious home cooking. The Friendship House will have your taste buds watering with our delicious breakfast every day of the week. Try our French omelets, Belgian waffles, biscuits, and gravy, and more. Hi, this is Jake Trumer, head chef at the Friendship House. We serve hot breakfast every day of the week. Don't forget to come in for lunch and try our juicy gourmet burgers or deli sandwiches served on our delicious homemade bread. Home cooking that's as good as Grandma's, if not better. Just follow the Eldrick Road to the Friendship House at 507 Ashton Wamego.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Quick turnarounds are all the rage in today's NFL. Everybody wants to be the next Commanders, a team that struck gold with Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels, turning chaos into contention just about overnight. But not every franchise can catch lightning in a bottle. Some rebuilds take time. Just look at what Dan Campbell's done in Detroit. It wasn't instant. It was patience, discipline, and you had growth. The Titans, they're learning that lesson the hard way. This is a franchise that's been spinning its wheels for over a decade, cycling through head coaches, GMs, quarterbacks. It's an annual tradition. Mike Munchak lasted 3 years. Ken Wisenhunt, 2. Mike Mularkey, 2. Then came Mike Vrabel. He was great. The Titans chased him out the door. His replacement, Brian Callahan, went 4-19 before getting fired. At some point, ownership needs to realize you can't build long-term success when you keep hitting the reset button. Maybe it's time Tennessee prioritizes stability. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield. Same old pharmacies, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
For area high school scores, recaps, league standings, and coach interviews, check out Scoreboard Saturday at 8 a.m. during football and basketball season, including coverage of the Centennial League, NCKL, Big East League, Flint Hills League, and the Twin Valley League. Scoreboard Saturday on News Radio KMAN is powered by WTC Communications. I'm Cole Dutchendorf with the Game Sports Update brought to you by Bottle Cap Sports Bar. Former K-State forward Kennedy Taylor has been denied a waiver to play a fifth season with the Wildcats. Head coach Jeff Mittie announced Tuesday morning at his preseason press conference.
Yeah, the NCAA denied it 2 weeks ago. Kennedy and her family filed an appeal. That's where it sits.
The process, which Mittie said began in February, took 8 months to wrap up, frustrating everyone involved.
They keep changing the goalpost. This would have been a case 95% previously. And too often, in my opinion, they want to treat things the same. Let's keep in mind what this player is. This is a player that she either is out of eligibility, so she either needs to get a job, go play overseas, and you're asking me this question in October. And I cannot figure out why you can't make this decision in June.
Kansas State in the Big 12 Conference announced game times and television information for the 2025-26 men's basketball season on Tuesday. With the Big 12's new collaborations with Fox and NBC, the Wildcats could appear across 10 different linear and streaming platforms, including CBS, ESPN, Fox, and Peacock. K-State women's basketball was among the 9 teams receiving votes that did not make the preseason AP Top 25 poll released Tuesday morning. Other Big 12 teams ranked include Iowa State and Baylor.
I'm digging the Motley Crue. Digging it, man. Love Motley Crue. Top 5 band artists for me. Wish I could have seen them in their prime. Well, that's okay. Well, we're back on the game. Mitch Fortner alongside Cole Dutchendorf. We're with you until 6 o'clock. We'll have some postseason baseball on the air tonight, starting at 6:30. Cole, what do you think about the playoffs so far? It looks like Seattle, I mean, they could sweep this series.
I would love it.
Did you know they're the only Major League Baseball team in history, as in like the current teams, they're the only team to never host a World Series matchup?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for the Mariners, who hadn't even made the ALCS in like 24 years or something like that. I wasn't born the last time that they were in it, so it's been a little while, and I'm really hoping it's going to be Brewers and the Mariners, because I think people are a little bit tired of the Dodgers winning, because they spend a ton of money and they're really good, and there's no denying that. So I would love to see it be the Mariners and the Brewers, and it's been a really fun playoff so far. I mean, the 15-inning game 5 against between the Mariners and the Tigers that we were watching on our way back from Wichita Northwest. Fantastic game, fantastic finish, and the Mariners fan base, man, you can only be happy for them. They've been a long-suffering franchise in baseball, and I hope they can go all the way.
Yeah, the Brewers blew it last night.
They really did.
They had a hell of an opportunity in the bottom of the ninth, and that one
run they gave up in the top of the ninth ended up coming back and biting them.
Yep, lost 2-1 to the Dodgers. So Dodgers lead 2-0, or I'm sorry, 1-0, right?
Yes, that was the first game of the series.
First game, and then hopefully I'm rooting for the Brewers too. I think that'd be awesome. And then Seattle 2 games out. They'll start their series up again on Wednesday night. We'll have some postseason ball right here on KMAN starting at 6:30. Dodgers, Brewers, game number 2. We had been waiting a long time to hear news on Kennedy Taylor, K-State women's basketball player who was the backup to Aoka Lee and ended up starting a handful of games, of course, because Lee got hurt again in her senior season, so Kennedy started 12 games last year for K-State. 2 years previously to that, played for Missouri State and then played 1 year at Colorado. But because Kennedy hardly played for Colorado back in her freshman season. Now, if I still understand the rules, you got to, in women's college basketball, you got to play 30% of the season, as in games, 30% of the year. And if you don't, you could be eligible for another year. I mean, feels like for a while these waivers have been granted. Well, Jeff Mitty, talking to the media earlier today, they did not get the answer they were looking for.
Yeah, the NCAA denied it 2 weeks ago. Kennedy and her family filed an appeal. That's where it sits.
That's very frustrating for a number of reasons. We probably should have got a little bit more into why exactly it wasn't granted if they do have those answers. But the timeline for this to take place and for it to take 8 months is it's absolutely insane.
They keep changing the goalpost. This would have been a case 95% previously. And too often, in my opinion, they want to treat things the same. Let's keep in mind what this player is. This is a player that she either is out of eligibility, so she either needs to get a job, go play overseas, and you're asking me this question in October. And I cannot figure out why you can't make this decision in June.
Yeah, just a painful sequence. I mean, there's a number of reasons why. First of all, Coach Mitty in this program, they have pretty much a darn near a brand new team, right? It has to be the newest team Coach Mitty has ever had in his head coaching career. Not only lost, 6 players to graduation, lost to a handful to the transfer portal. There's European player. I mean, there's just a whole new mix of gals where your most veteran player is now tearing sides. And so you would just love to have first of all, a veteran back and a player that's already used to the program, has played a year, maybe could be a leader. And then you find out about 3 weeks before you have your first competitive play in an exhibition this weekend. I mean, they're going to have an exhibition, closed practice, closed scrimmage against Minnesota, and you find out 3 weeks prior that somebody that probably would have started for you in a situation where typically this waiver gets granted where she did not play 30% of a season at Colorado her freshman year, she played like 25% of that year, is not going to be playing women's college basketball for you this year. Yeah, obviously that creates a pretty big problem because now K-State, I mean, just for them, where that puts them in a hole is that they're going to be thinned out the five.
As thin as we've ever been. It's a problem. Yeah, we just got to figure out how to cover it up and figure out how we're going to play that. But yeah, we're not very deep there. We've looked for possible players that could be eligible. There's just not very many out there, right?
No, not this close to the year. And Kennedy isn't the tallest five, but man, was she a blessing last year, because throughout Ayokule's career, K-State has never really had a backup for Yoki. I mean, they have recruited players but that just didn't work out. And you have a player coming off the bench playing 12 minutes a game and averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds per game in 12 starts. Especially early in the year was just a huge help. Nobody in previous years had been close to being that good behind Ayokule than Kennedy Taylor. So it was her spot to have as a starter. And the waiver is not granted. What a pain in the butt. Why should it take the NCAA 8 months to get back to you and say, because they got this stuff in before the season ended. Do the math. This was back in February that K-State had all of this done, sent it to the NCAA. They're probably getting a lot of these. And these, it wasn't long ago. Every kind of waiver they were granting. Everybody was getting an extra year. JUCO players, you get an extra year. Like Oprah handing out cars. Everybody's getting an extra year. And now is the NCAA just saying, look, we kind of maybe gave too many people waivers, so we have to put our foot down. We're not going to be handing out as many waivers anymore. Meanwhile, we're still trying to get to this new era where we're going to try to give everybody just 5 years of eligibility. You just play on through. Just play on through. Now, this was a huge botch and a big issue now for K-State because now at the 5, they have one player. Ramiah White, the transfer from Virginia Tech, is all they have to be a traditional 5.
And I think she's relatively unproven as well in terms of getting a lot of minutes at a Power 4 program. So we'll see how that all works out. The post situations for both K-State men's and women's basketball were some of the biggest talking points of the offseason. K-State got one on the men's side with Doreen Buka in terms of a guy with a lot of size. The women have
7-footer.
one, but losing a player like Kennedy Taylor who has some of that continuity from last year's team, who stepped up in big spots and really proved to be a really solid player. Definitely offensively, she had her blemishes on defense, but the post presence that she was offensively, she had a lot of moves that she liked to go to. And again, just you have one player from last year's roster who got minutes in 2024 and 2025. Like that's it, and it's tearing sides. So you're not returning basically anyone. There's some players from last year that didn't play that either redshirted or injured or whatever the case was. So, and by far, the most frustrating part is, as you said, the timeline. You're telling me there was no way for us to expedite this process a little bit, even if you know the answer is no, a little bit sooner than October? I mean, the new semester has already started a couple of months ago. You're getting ready for the basketball season in less than a month. And it's just an incredibly frustrating process. I feel for Kennedy Taylor and they said that they're going to try to appeal at her and her family. I feel for their family in the situation as well. She might still be at K-State taking classes. A lot goes into this outside of just basketball. So I can't imagine being on the background on the inside for this situation. It had to have been incredibly frustrating. It's frustrating for me just as a fan and a spectator.
Well, it's got to be, yes, it's frustrating for K-State, for her as well, with her opportunities that she would probably get if she didn't play college basketball and knew way ahead of time that she wasn't going to play. She could have then gone on and done some other things. To me, it's like a very smart student wanting to go to Harvard, has a chance to go to Harvard. They're waiting for the word from Harvard if they've been accepted or not. And it's like Harvard waiting until August 2nd to say if you're in or not. And then if you're not in, what the hell are you going to do? Well, maybe Cloud County will take me. Who's going to squeeze me in so I can start taking some classes? Or am I just going to take a year off and hope I get in next year? I don't know. I don't think it works that easily because do appeals, I'm not sure if they happen too often. Because I'm sure K-State men's basketball tried to appeal with Tyreek Smith. That wasn't going to happen. It was a bit of a stretch anyway for Tyreek to get it. This should have been an easy done deal for Kennedy Taylor to get an extra year of eligibility. Because just of lack of playing and, just kind of a redshirt situation, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, get the extra year of eligibility and play one more year, play like a super senior or fifth-year senior year, But it didn't happen. So it's pretty, just one more thing for the coaches, fans, whoever, to be pissed off with the NCAA about how they've decided to run things with the continuing changes of college athletics. It's a mess.
And then just from the actual basketball side of things as well, you lose. It's going to be a pretty guard-heavy team, I would think. I really think the women's and men's teams are going to be relatively similar in terms of play style this year, and both similar in terms of it's a pretty new roster as well. So there's not going to be a ton of size. There are some bigger guards. Like I think Jordan Spicer is about 6'1" or so.
Yeah.
There's some guards that have size, but you don't have those traditional posts. You definitely don't have an Aoka Lee down there in the post anymore.
No, there's no irresistible for immovable object.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to get to. Like Ramaya White is a, if I may say, a bigger body. She is kind of maybe even a little bit bigger than Aoka Lee, not height-wise, but just stronger player. Would probably be able to do, especially in the non-conference, probably push some players around when you play a smaller team. But K-State overall, it does feel like they're going to be a little bit smaller. A point guard, everybody's under 6 foot. Serena Sundell was a 6', 6'1". And then now, K-State doesn't have anybody taller other than Ramaya White, the transfer 5, that's taller than 6'1". So it's going to be all around a smaller group, but maybe more athletic group. Coach Mitty, we're going to hear more from him on Thursday when we take a little bit more of a look into K-State women's basketball, because we did get to talk to Coach Mitty today. That, look, he's seen these ladies come in and just shoot lights out, be dominant at practice, and then there's just inconsistencies. So I'm sure Jeff Mitty is kind of like at the same time, like while these gals are learning to work together, like Jordan Spicer is being guarded like she's never been guarded before in her career, and they're trying to get used to that, used to working with each other. He's trying to figure out lineups. That probably won't really happen until they start playing some games. That he's also kind of, this is probably the first time in his career he's ever had a roster overhaul like this before.
He said it's the newest roster he's ever had, or maybe he said youngest. One of those two things. So
it's full of blue chippers.
Yeah. So I think it's a very intriguing season, and he said it himself. There's been a lot of inconsistency. There's hot flashes and there's cold stretches. So we'll kind of see. And I think it'll be, and he put it the best. It'll be a completely different team in March than it will be in October.
Like, I think back to the NCAA tournament. Tamira Poindexter, all the three-pointers she hit against Kentucky, but I thought that big spark in that Kentucky game was Kennedy Taylor. She scored in double figures. She was getting to the free throw line. She was 7 of 7 at the free throw line against Kentucky. Like, she was, how do I want to put this? Like, she wasn't the most praised player after this game. Sundell sent the game to overtime. So did Poindexter. Just draining shots. But Kennedy was a huge spark as well. She had like 8 rebounds in that. She almost had a double-double in that game against Kentucky. So now it's like weird. It's like if she were to get the waiver, I don't know like how that would work either. Like if eligibility's right away.
Yeah, like if she wins the
practicing.
appeal, if she gets to hop in there, I don't know.
She's technically not on the team.
Right.
It's weird. And it's a real bummer. All right, let's take a break. Let's do, coming up in hour number 2, are we feeling better about this KU game thanks to recent success? Time and TV for K-State men's basketball. What it will cost you to watch every single K-State men's basketball game on TV, because there's a lot of streaming sources to check out this year. AEW wrestler Powerhouse Hobbs will join us in hour number 2 as well. Jabroni of the Week. is after these words.
Your home for K-State sports.
McNabb with a shotgun, rolls to the near side. K-State wasn't quite ready, but now they come after McNabb in the backfield, and they get him at the 35-yard line of Syracuse. Kansas State tracks him down as Darren Howard, who shot through there and brings down McNabb.
This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Whether it's game day or a night out with great live music, Bottle Cap Sports Bar delivers the atmosphere you're looking for. It's Manhattan's go-to spot for catching every Wildcats or Chiefs game and enjoying live music that plays the songs you actually know. Come early for a good seat, great music, and cold drinks served up right. Stay in the loop. Check out their Facebook page for the full schedule of events. Bottle Caps, where the music's live, the game's always on, and the vibe is just right.
Bottle Cap Sports Bar located on West Anderson across from Dairy Queen.
Attention homeowners! Are you looking to enhance the curb appeal and protect your home? Buck Roofing Company has been serving Kansas for almost 20 years. They are the go-to experts in premium siding solutions with new LP siding or James Harding options. Your home will stand out while being protected against the elements. Call their office for a free, no-obligation estimate today, 785-230-9379. Buck Roofing, where quality and professionalism come first.
Metalark's 3 community programs are designed with you in mind and offer free resources for those navigating Parkinson's, memory changes, or cancer. Whether you're seeking education, movement classes, or meaningful connection, our community programs offer support for every stage of your cancer, Parkinson's, and memory loss experience. Open to all in the Flint Hills region, Metalark's community programs are here when you need them. Visit metalark.org to learn more.
The Trust Company is an independent, locally owned wealth management and investment company founded right here in Manhattan in 1992. The motivation that drives your financial goals, your life, is unique to you and your family. You won't find boilerplate, template-driven, off-the-shelf financial services and strategies at the Trust Company, but plans thoughtfully and individually designed, tailored specifically to your hopes and dreams. The Trust Company, locally owned, client-focused. Our only allegiance is to you. Visit thetrustco.com.
Westwood One presents a day in women's sports, sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. We'd like to salute the Phoenix Mercury on a terrific season that ended with their loss to the Aces in the WNBA Finals. After the 2024 campaign, Phoenix saw the departure of franchise legends Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner, but they brought in stars like Alyssa Thomas and Satu Sabali. The new-look Mercury finished the WNBA regular season with the 4th best record, and they upset the top-seeded Minnesota Lynx in the semifinals. Phoenix has won 3 league championships, and this was their 6th appearance in the WNBA Finals. They were led on the offensive end in the series by guard Kalia Copper, who knows that the Mercury will be back even hungrier next season.
You know, you hate this feeling. You hear the other team celebrating. Like, just remember what this feeling feels like. Remember the hurt. Just remember everything that you feel in this moment, and then just let that fuel you for the future.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Erica Herskowitz on Westwood One.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
The Ramsey Show.
So we're thinking about getting married. I had talked to her about just going down to the courthouse quick, getting it done, and then later on, after we're completely debt-free, saving up and having a big ceremony. But I can't quite convince her. I wanted to do it as cheap as possible.
He's so romantic.
You're such a guy.
Don't let Elvis be the officiator of the wedding.
You don't want the Elvis wedding? Come on.
Life and money advice. The Ramsey Show, weekdays from 10 to 1 on News Radio KMAN. News Radio KMAN. Weather.
Right now in Manhattan, 79 degrees, mostly cloudy skies and little to no wind. Still a chance of sprinkles later this afternoon into the evening. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low around 62. Those clouds clearing out tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and a high near 84. Heading to tomorrow night, mostly clear, a low around 62. On Thursday, sunny with a high near 81, wind gusting as high as 20, 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms on Friday, mainly before 1 in the afternoon.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni! You jabronis hit the jackpot!
That Hollywood blonde jabroni, Hulk Hogan.
Ow! Is this jabroni's name?
Jabroni of the week.
All right, let's get to some jabrones, shall we? It's always an honor to talk about jabronis, and this is where we crown a jabroni of the week. Very prestigious honor. And it starts with 3 dishonorable mentions, and I will finish up with my official jabroni of the week. You know, maybe I was thinking about, going with those officials in that Chiefs-Lions game. I mean, how do you not commit a penalty in the entire game? How does Kelsey get that touchdown? Things like that, that the officials just kind of ignored.
Yeah, I guess so.
The holds and
NFL is rigged, confirmed, I believe, after that one.
Sounds like it. Now, my first dishonorable mention, I'm going to go with Brian Branch from the Lions defensive back. He threw a right hand at Juju Smith-Schuster and caused a bit of a scuffle there. Anyway, he's going to get a 1-game suspension for that.
When he cried afterwards about getting bullied, were the words that he used, like, brother, we're in the NFL, and we're talking about getting bullied on the field?
There's no room for bullies.
I don't know this is a contact sport. Like, we're trying to not hurt the other players, but you're trying to inflict your will upon the opposing team.
I mean, bullies, what are they? Was it verbal bullying, did he say?
He just said, they're bullying me out there. It was the exact quoted, like, verbatim what he said.
What, was Juju talking trash on his mom or something? Or?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know exactly what was happening. Maybe he was mad when Pat flexed on him when he went into the end zone. I don't know.
I mean, he didn't get a high five. Pat was trying to give him the high five, like trying to say, hey, cool, man, we cool, like things like that. No, he went right to Juju and threw his right hand in his face.
Yeah.
All right, my next dishonorable mention. This is a story probably nobody heard about. So there's a hockey league called the KHL. It is the Continental with a K. Continental Hockey League.
Great start.
And listen to it's in Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and China.
I mean, that's the big four right there.
Yeah. When you think of hockey, international hockey, that's the big four. But they have 22 clubs in these 4 countries. Anyway, they had a bit of a controversial goal. I don't know how to say any of these team names, so Team A, Team B. Let's just go that way. So Team A took the lead on Team B. Late third period, a one-timer by Team A into the goal, 2-1. They go on to win. The thing is, when this goal was scored, it went to a review. They have review. They review plays
Good for them.
In this league. Yeah, they're up and coming. So they look at the review. Good camera shot. Came from the rafters of the building. It was their best look from the ceiling of the arena. They're able to tell that the puck did not cross the goal line. Instead, it went through the side of the net. So there's just one person in charge of reviewing this play. Should be bang, bang. That's not a goal. Overturned. Let's play on. It's 1-1. He's like, no. I'm going to stop there on the accent.
Good call.
And it was, he called it a goal.
Huh.
Stuck with it. The KHL has now banned that guy for life. For life. One screw up.
That's what they should have done to Brian Branch after the Chiefs-Lions game.
It's either that or the sword. You pick.
Yeah.
Did you see that video? It's been going around like Saddam Hussein when he became the president of Iraq. The people that tried to conspire against him, he called them all out in the room and said, you're going to walk back there and you're done.
I haven't.
It's pretty crazy. Anyway, last dishonorable mention. I'm going to bring up some referees here. I'm going to go with the referees from the Georgia-Auburn game.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Wouldn't have known about this unless Twitter told me about it because I've watched very little SEC football this year. So, 2 things happened in this matchup. One of them was a goal line touchdown. It's tush-push stuff coming from Auburn. Looking to go up 2 scores on the old Georgia Bulldogs. This is in Auburn, Alabama. So Jackson Arnold has the football, stretches over the goal line. Ball gets slapped out of his hand. The ruling is fumble recovered by Georgia. Well, on replay, we can see that the ball did, in the hands of Jackson Arnold, stretch across the goal line, should have been a touchdown, and as the ball was crossing the goal line, the ball was slapped out of his hand. Like, honestly, it's a bit of a bang-bang play, but if you're watching that live, you should see as a referee that was a touchdown. But they went to review. Here we go. Another review. The call was upheld. Fumble recovered by Georgia. Bad call. Bad call. And then later on, not long after that, Kirby Smart calling a timeout. Timeout. Because he was trying to avoid a delay of game penalty in the fourth quarter. Well, what he was trying to say was, I didn't call timeout. I was clapping my hands.
What he was saying was that Auburn's defense was clapping their hands, simulating the Georgia snap.
And
but it was very clear.
But he was making the T. He's like, timeout.
That's not how you clap your hands.
But no, then he goes, no, I was clapping my hands to say this, and what you just said. I was clapping my hands. And the referee was like this is the movie Idiocracy. Oh, well then let's get this fixed. Because I'm going to believe everything you say.
Fresh clock, 25 seconds, Get it up there.
Mulligan, let's redo it. Here we go, and go.
So stupid.
Terrible. Mm-hmm. The SEC sent a formal apology to Auburn for what happened. It's like, you know what you can do with your apology?
Shove it.
That does nothing. But anyway, my jabroni of the week, I'm going to give it to James Franklin. I am, because getting fired, you were a top 5 team 2 weeks ago. Losing to Oregon is one thing. Then losing to a winless UCLA. And then a Northwestern team at home should not happen. That's a part of the story. I mean, the reason James Franklin lost his job overall was that he couldn't win big games. Lost 29 times against ranked opponents. 29 times in 12 years. As an AP top 10 team, lost 19 times. Against AP top 10 teams, you lost 21 times. And in AP top 10 matchups, where both teams were top 10, he lost 12 times. But there's more to this story. Everybody saw the buyout and be like, well, is this really the worst thing in the world? Yeah, he lost his job, but he could just sit on a beach for the rest of his life with his $50 million and sip on margaritas. It's not that simple. So it turns out there is some paragraphs in his contract that say, all right, yes, your buyout is $50 million. We will pay you this money over 6 years. Or somewhere it comes out to like $8 million a year somehow. Whatever that comes out to. I believe it all has to be paid by 2031. But it turns out with this contract, it says if we let you go, you have to find a new job. Well, look, I think there's a lot of teams out there that'll want to hire James Franklin.
For sure.
He made it to a college football semifinal.
Penn State's been a really good college football team. They just haven't been able to beat the top dogs over the past decade or so.
That's true. And, I mean, they're the Dallas Cowboys of college football. I've been saying that for years. But he's not washed up by any means. He's still got a lot left in the tank. So, but according to his contract, he needs to get hired. And then, here come the payouts. But whatever he's making at the new school he's working for, whatever it is per year, Penn State does not have to pay him that money. So if he's over the next 6 years going to make, let's say, $4 million a year, that's $24 million of that buyout that they will not have to pay him. So he is not going to make $50 million off of this buyout. He will be lucky if he gets half. But who wouldn't take half? Hour 2 coming up next, The Game.
You're listening to The Game on News Radio KMAN.
It's back to school, and Ashley Furniture is helping you gear up in style. Whether it's a new desk for homework time, a comfy bed for a good night's rest, or stylish storage to keep it all organized, we've got what you need at unbeatable prices. Locally owned and operated, we're proud to serve the Manhattan community with furniture for every room and every budget. Come see us today at Ashley Furniture, 200 Sarber Lane in Manhattan. Your home, your style, your Ashley.
This is Matt, Kansas State alum and store director of your Manhattan Hy-Vee. Avery Johnson will be at Hy-Vee October 16th at 6:30. That's right, your Manhattan Hy-Vee partnered with Dr. Pepper to have quarterback Avery Johnson at Hy-Vee signing autographs this Thursday at 6:30, lasting until 7:30. This is a free event with no purchase necessary, and approved memorabilia will be available on site. The first 50 people in line will be entered in a drawing to win a piece of Avery Johnson signed memorabilia from Dr. Pepper. Thank you for shopping at Hy-Vee, and as always, go Cats!
I'm Brad Jones, owner at Home of the Flint Hills, where every day is designed with you in mind. We offer a warm, secure, and inspiring home for seniors where independence is honored and your choices always comes first. Experience beautiful, private residences filled with luxurious amenities and a dedicated team of compassionate caregivers. At Home of the Flint Hills, we're more than just a senior living community. We're a place where you're respected, empowered, and free to live life your way. Enjoy the comfort of staying in one place as your needs grow. That's true age-in-place living. Visit homeoftheflinthills.com to schedule your tour today.
Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Center offers innovative, cutting-edge physical therapy, from blood flow restriction rehabilitation, dry needling, DARI-A biochemical movement analysis, fall prevention, and return to sport. OSMC Physical Therapy has over 75 years of combined treatment experience and deliver a successful and positive outcome while making the rehabilitation process pleasant and enjoyable. At Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Physical Therapy, no referrals are needed to schedule your therapy appointment. For more information, visit us at KansasOrtho.com.
Let's get some runs in Milwaukee. I'm Sammy Peak, here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM network. Pitchers duel last night in the NLCS, a 2-1 final, but the market moving up tonight for Game 2. BetMGM opened 7, now we're 7.5. I agree with the move and expect a regression offensively. I'm Sammy P. from the BetMGM network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Manhattan's home for news, sports, weather, and talk since 1950. News Radio, KMAN, Manhattan.
CBS News Brief. Hamas has returned to Israel the remains of 4 more deceased hostages, but Israel is demanding all of the remains and threatening to hold back aid trucks to Gaza. It's the first major snag in the peace deal. CBS's Olivia Gazas reports there are sure to be others.
There are questions about whether the Palestinian Authority, that has historically been in a position to do so, can reform itself to the extent acceptable by all of the stakeholders in order to regain a legitimate, credible place in governing in Gaza, or whether there are other leaders in the region that are going to actually come together as had been envisioned.
The Senate's voting again today on ending the government shutdown. Caitlin Huey-Burns is monitoring.
And that vote is likely to fail. It's the same scenario we've seen over and over again for the past now 2 weeks. We're in day 14 of this shutdown, with both sides still very much dug in their position.
On Wall Street, stocks finished mixed. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Now, the latest news from the News Radio KMAN and Manhattan Mercury Newsroom.
Coming up in news, a small fire quickly extinguished at the Boys and Girls Club. A Topeka man arrested for burglary in Wabunsee County, and K-State positions itself as a nuclear power player. It's just after 5 o'clock here on this Tuesday. I'm Louis Marion. No injuries were reported after a brief electrical fire was reported this morning at the Boys and Girls Club in Manhattan, located at 5th and Pierre Street. The Manhattan Fire Department was dispatched to the facility shortly after 10 a.m. for a structure fire. Staff reportedly used a fire extinguisher to put out the fire in a bathroom. No children were in the facility at the time, and all staff had evacuated before firefighters arrived. The fire caused an estimated $1,000 in damage. The fire department says the incident is a good reminder during Fire Prevention Week to ensure fire extinguishers are accessible and to only try to extinguish fires if it can be done so safely. A Topeka man was arrested Saturday night after deputies responded to a burglary west of Alma, according to the Wabaunsee County Sheriff's Office. Deputies were dispatched Saturday to the 34,000 block of Old K10 Road following a report of an unknown individual inside a home. When deputies arrived, they found and detained 63-year-old Gary Purvis of Topeka. Authorities say multiple items belonging to the homeowner were recovered from Purvis' vehicle, which was parked in the driveway. Investigators confirmed Purvis did not have permission to be on the property. All of the stolen items were returned to the homeowner. Purvis was taken into custody on one count of burglary and remains jailed on a $10,000 bond. As Kansas explores new options for nuclear energy, K-State is positioning itself at the center of the state's future power discussions. Nuclear engineering professor Amir Bahadori.
K-State has really been a leader in nuclear engineering ever since the 1950s. We've had a nuclear engineering curriculum since 1952, and we had the first accredited undergraduate program in the early 1960s.
He says today's students are drawn not only by clean energy goals, but by expanding job opportunities in power generation, medicine, and defense.
One thing that's clear is that the states and the regions that are going to be the most successful economically, the ones that are going to attract high-paying jobs, allowing people to increase their standard of living, are the ones that are going to be able to provide the resources that are needed in order to support the activities of those companies.
With the Kansas Department of Commerce and Evergy partnering with TerraPower to study new reactor possibilities, Bahadori says K-State's role will be preparing the workforce needed to support that future, one that's increasingly powered by advanced nuclear innovation. Fort Riley soldiers are honing their combat skills overseas. With more on this story, here's K-Man Morning News host Brandon Peoples.
Members of the 1st Battalion, 16th Infantry Regiment, the Iron Rangers, with the 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team, 1st Infantry Division, conducted live fire tank exercises this past week in Bulgaria. Army officials say about 15 M1A2 Abrams tanks took part in day and night drills focused on target engagement, maneuvering, and crew coordination. Tank Commander Staff Sergeant Riley Croft says every crew member plays a vital role, and training helps build muscle memory and leadership for the next generation of soldiers. I'm Brandon Peoples, News Radio KMAN.
Kansas Legal Services is relying on remote court appearances across 22 southwest Kansas counties after losing its only attorney in the region. But inconsistent rules have prompted the Kansas Supreme Court to propose a new rule to standardize how judges handle virtual hearings. The rule aims to expand access to justice and address the state's growing rural attorney shortage. Some judges, though, argue remote proceedings erode professionalism and fairness, while others, especially in rural districts, say they are essential for efficiency and access. Attorneys have also raised concerns about protecting defendants' rights during virtual hearings. The court is reviewing public comments before deciding whether to adopt or amend the proposal. And a quick programming note before we go tonight. Coming up Wednesday on Within Reason with Mike Mattson, Mike is visiting with Tiffany Nacarado from Stormont Vale Health about heart health and care in Manhattan and Junction City. Within Reason airs weekday mornings at 9:06 here on News Radio KMAN. I'm Louis Marion. This has been your 5 p.m. news update. Your weather forecast an hour to the game is next.
News is powered by Central National Bank with locations at the Walmart Supercenter and at College and Claflin. Central National Bank, member FDIC. News Radio KMAN weather.
Right now in Manhattan, 78 degrees with overcast skies. Still a slight chance of sprinkles as we head into the evening. Overnight low of 62 with partly cloudy skies. Those clouds clearing out for tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 84. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, a low around 62 as we move forward to Thursday. Heating up a little bit, full of sunshine with a high near 81, wind gusting as high as 20 out of the south. 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 1 p.m. on Friday.
K-Man Daily Weather is presented by Fox Business Systems. How much does downtime cost you and your business? Don't let another second go by. Call Fox Business Systems at 776-1452. Love the police. Hour 2 of the game after work. Mitch Fortner and Cole Dutchendorf. We got you until 6 o'clock. 6:30, we'll have some football or some baseball coverage, rather. Excuse me. Some baseball coverage. Postseason play. It is the Dodgers, Brewers, Game 2, NLCS, right here on News Radio KMAN. Did you see that? Do you follow Avery Johnson on Instagram?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't really follow any players on social media.
I think the only athlete I follow is Patrick Mahomes. I think that's pretty much it in terms of professional or collegiate.
You remember last year, Will Howard did an Instagram promotion or advertisement for Dr. Pepper.
I do.
And there was he kissed the can. He's wearing like a Dr. Pepper jersey. He's dancing around.
Mm-hmm.
He's carrying a jacket. He's doing a little look back to the camera. Like, it was like the sassiest I've ever seen Will Howard.
Yes.
Avery Johnson has now done his own Dr. Pepper ad. It's on his Instagram account. The caption is, "If you aren't joining me and Dr. Pepper at the Manhattan Hy-Vee on October 16th between 6:30 and 8 p.m. Central, you are missing out. Address below." And he's dancing around. But his isn't nearly as cool as Will's. Will was great. I see Avery kind of having a tough time stepping out of his shell a little bit. Being outgoing. He's like shuffling around. He gives a look to the camera. He's a little embarrassed. But maybe that's what made it kind of good. He's like, he's kind of shy a little bit. But it's cool to see he's getting those in. I mean, Will Howard did the same one. Obviously there's a comparison there, but Will was great. But if you look at Avery's Instagram, it's full of NIL stuff. College football video game, Ameritrust, Freddy's is in there as well. Yeah. Well, I want to give a shout out to a great sponsor of ours, Bottle Caps. Tonight is Singo, and it's also Taco Tuesday. They're doing Animal Song Singo. If you've never played Singo, it's bingo, but with music. It's how I prefer to play bingo. And that'll start 7 o'clock tonight. Get out there for Bottle Caps there on the west side of town. And if you're not going to get the tacos, get the $6 patty melt. Really good. Really good. Get the fries. Get the fries with it. Do they have dipping sauce? Get some dipping sauce. Put your fries in something other than ketchup. Live a little. You know what I mean?
Like mayo.
Well, you know how I like to fly.
I was giving you a shout out. I was giving you a chance to represent for Team Mayo.
Yeah. And I got to say fly. I. You don't know that song?
I don't.
I gotta stay fly. You don't know that song?
I don't think so.
Man, play it when we come back.
Okay.
After our break, pull it up. Make sure there's a clean version. We'll play that coming back, man. That reminds me of high school right there. I'll leave it at that. Kennedy Taylor, K-State women's basketball player, did not get her waiver for this upcoming season. Jeff Mitty pretty upset about how that all unfolded. We heard from Jeff Mitty earlier today. Tim Everson from right here on from Power Cat Game Day from the Manhattan Mercury asked the question about Kennedy, and they found out about 2 weeks ago, which is insane. 2 weeks ago, that Kennedy Taylor is not going to be playing for women's college for K-State women's basketball this year. They're going through an appeal process. If it took the NCAA 8 months to get that figured out, how long does the appeal take?
Yeah, no way you can trust that at all.
I thought this was the NCAA, not the court system. She's not on trial for anything. You're just trying to get her another year of eligibility.
Yeah.
She's not in trouble. She's a good kid. Mm-hmm. Good kid. Anyway.
And a good basketball player.
Coming up here a little bit in this hour, number 2, AEW wrestler Powerhouse Hobbs. AEW Dynamite is in Kansas City tomorrow night. Cable Dahmer Arena, yours truly, along with Lindsay. We're going to be in the building for it, and tickets still on sale. AEWTix.com for that. And Will Hobbs will be joining us a little bit later on this hour. Around 5:40 is when he's going to call in. Plus, times and TV for K-State men's basketball. What it will cost you to watch every single men's basketball game on TV this year. Got a text during the break. Streaming women's basketball games is a puzzle as well. It's not as much of a puzzle, but I am noticing as well, as more Fox, if it's TNT, whoever, start getting
more
and more involved.
No more Flow Sports, man.
Yeah, that big time. But I think those other channels, like I've just mentioned, they're going to get more and more involved. Women's basketball is still continuing to grow. I mean, the Big 12 announced this is one of their best years when it comes to televised games, like on Fox, ESPN, things like that. K-State's going to have 4 conference games on linear television, but it's mostly going to be streaming. Most of it is going to be still ESPN Plus. Main topic I wanted to get to today here, Cole, is something we talked about a little bit with Wyatt Thompson yesterday. Because we're now in a bye week. Things are kind of chill this week, and then the action picks back up next week. We got Big 12 Media Days for basketball, K-State, KU, and Lawrence. The men's basketball team is going to have an exhibition at Mizzou on that Friday night. It's a 9 o'clock tip-off. That's going to be on SEC Network. So, yeah, things are kind of chill right now. We can kind of take a deep breath, relax for a moment before it kicks back off next week. But I can't get my mind off of the game now in front of K-State is the Kansas Jayhawks. That is a game that I want to ask, how do you feel about it right now? Because of K-State's recent success, prior to that, we're screwed. The streak is over. KU's going to roll K-State because the Cats stink.
Yeah, after post-Arizona. Oh, man.
Bad. Well, now K-State's won 2 of the last 3. The offensive line playing better. Still don't really have Dylan Edwards, but your wide receivers are getting healthy, figuring some things out, moving some guys around, maybe throwing some little different looks on defense. And really what now K-State is probably wanting to prove is not just beat your rival, win a road game. K-State hasn't won away from Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Look, I still think we're in the phase of just beat KU. It's been a very disappointing season. The win against TCU to me was like a Vicodin, It's a temporary relief from the pain. Step in the right direction. I'll take those wins. But it's still just beat KU. Because a 7-5 season, a 6-6 season isn't going to make a whole lot of people very excited. So I want to ask the question to everybody, and you can chime in if you want, or you can text us, you can call in 785-537-1350. Do you feel better about the KU game? My simple answer is yes. But to add on to that answer, I will never use the word leading up to this game in a week and a half as confident. Am I confident that K-State will win this game? No, I am not. I think it's a huge toss-up. I think the result of this game is totally up in the air. It's anybody's game because KU has also had their ups and downs. Solid second-half performance at UCF, but they just gave a game away at home to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's turned out to be a good team. Pulled that one out on the road in the final moments. KU got throttled at Texas Tech. I mean, they ran into a buzzsaw. With the exception of the second quarter, ran into a buzzsaw. But they've had their ups and downs in consistency, execution, I would say effort at times, and they've had a handful of injuries that they would like to have back. I think there's some parallels here. I think there's some similarities. But this is going to be played in Lawrence. Both teams are going to be coming off a bye week. Both teams are trying to get a lot healthier. Do I feel confident? No. But I like K-State's chances now more than I did 2 or 3 weeks ago? Absolutely. Would I right now pick K-State to win the game in Lawrence? I would have to say no. I would actually lean KU right now. But this is probably going to be one of those games I'm going to probably go back and forth on 20 times before I make a decision. We're still 11 days out from that game being played.
Yeah, if you ask me this question directly after the Arizona loss, I'm probably thinking 20-point win for KU at minimum. Not even they're going to end the streak. They're going to end the streak in blowout fashion because it just looked like a K-State team that was kind of dead in the water. They just couldn't really get anything going. They couldn't play well on offense and defense in the same game. It was just a team that was really struggling to, as Coach Kleiman said, find an identity. That was one thing that they struggled with tremendously. through the first 4 games of the year, really. They've found it a little bit more as of late, and they also look a lot more like what we thought they would look like at the beginning of the season over the course of the last 3 games. I mean, outside of the explosive plays given up on defense, they've been pretty solid on that end. They've been creating those swinging plays where they're creating turnovers. You look at the Baylor game, the defense probably did enough to win that game for K-State. Obviously, they did more than enough to win against TCU with putting a couple of defensive turnovers into the end zone, and then offense as well. I mean, man, one thing that Wyatt said yesterday was, how are you looking at the season if, and again, it goes back to what ifs and woulda, shoulda, couldas, as Coach Kleiman said after the Baylor game. What if K-State holds on to that 14-point lead? What if they get that one? If the pick six doesn't happen, if Luis makes the long field goal, or they get 5 more yards to give him the space to actually hit the field goal, all of a sudden you're 3-1, and in Big 12 play, and you feel decent about your chances to maybe make a run. Obviously, still a tough schedule remains in the Big 12. Texas Tech coming to town, that's a scary one. On the road at Utah, that's a scary one as well. But you feel a lot better, obviously, than you did because ultimately the non-conference games, they sucked to lose, but they don't really hurt you in the grand scheme of things. Instead, they lose that close one to Baylor. But again, I would agree, and he got kind of lambasted for it. I would agree with Coach Kleiman in that K-State was playing much more K-State football. They just looked like a team that gave a crap during the couple of games getting back into the Big 12 schedule. And then they looked pretty solid against TCU. And I get the whole, if it wasn't for a play here or there, TCU might be in a better position. Well, K-State took care of business, and they did the right thing on offense. The one drive that stuck out to me in that TCU game, and one thing that gives me more confidence, not only for KU but for the rest of the season as a whole, was the drive when, I believe it's directly after the long touchdown, like the 85-yard touchdown that took 12 seconds or whatever off the clock, where they ran it. There was 12 plays for 75 yards, just under 7 minutes, and I think 9-ish plays on that drive were runs. And it wasn't like they were a bunch of explosive runs, but the line was getting enough movement for them to just keep going back to the run. They were establishing the line of scrimmage, something that they did not do in the first half of the season. Really, again, when I'm saying this, mainly the non-conference, but still, you could throw in plays against UCF and Baylor where they weren't doing that either. They were establishing the run, and really they were just imposing their will on TCU's defense. That's something you really haven't seen a ton this season. And I think that gave them some confidence, yes, on that drive, and for the rest of the game, they were able to finish it out. But also, I think potentially for the rest of the season, it's not a dead season. They have 2 losses in conference play. It's still been an extremely disappointing start to the year, don't get me wrong, but you continue the momentum that you've picked up over the last couple of weeks. They're going to be ready to play KU on Saturday. There's no doubt about that. That could be the case if they were 0-7 on the season. And then who knows, if they beat KU on the road, and then you set up an intriguing matchup with Texas Tech, who's been by far the best team in the Big 12 this season.
Got a couple of messages in, and they're both about Dylan Edwards. They basically ask, one of them is a comment, if Dylan Edwards plays, is from the 75. If Dylan Edwards plays, I think K-State's going to win. Another comment from the 817, is Edwards going to play with 3 question marks? Here's the deal about that. If there's one thing that'd make me feel a lot better about this game is if Dylan Edwards plays. We still, even though we advertised it for the Baylor game, we still haven't had a game where Avery Johnson, Dylan Edwards, your 3 wide receivers have all been good to go. Baylor should have been the return of J.B. Bradley. He played 2 plays. And I swear, I feel like he was a decoy, if anything. Now he finally got back up to speed. Jace Brown, how healthy is he? That's a bit of a question, but I still think he'll be a factor. But KU, just got its butt kicked in the run game against Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech has a much better offensive line than K-State does. It's really not even close. KU gave up like 350 yards to Texas Tech in that game. But even before that, KU's run defense still wasn't very good. They were okay, maybe.
Really, just their defense in general.
They can give up some points.
Mm-hmm.
They can give up some points. The team they really didn't give up points, 20, right, to UCF, but that was first half points by UCF. I just like that K-State is figuring some things out on offense. I thought Matt Wells, I would say, actually really for a lot of the game, I thought he called a good game. A couple of plays, again, probably would have liked that back. I thought it was one of his better games, for sure, against TCU. But K-State would have to move the football, and you don't want to play in a deficit in the second half, but I think they would, or it's going to be a close game. I think there's no doubt it's a close game.
And really,
if Dylan Edwards, real quick, but if Dylan Edwards plays, I think that really changes the landscape of this game because that's going to be one of the best athletes KU has seen all season long.
And really, for KU, kind of the biggest question mark on their season, maybe the biggest barometer for how they would do over the course of the year was how good would their defense be. And it really has not been – it's been kind of what you expected. A lot of turnover from last year, a lot of solid seniors that graduated, players lost in the transfer portal, and that's been a disappointment for them is their defense. So K-State will for sure be in this game. And they haven't given – I mean, they've been in every single game this season almost to a fault where they can't really blow teams out, but they also can't get blown out. They're always going to be in the game at the end, even when they tried their hardest to lose against Arizona in blowout fashion, they're still able to stay in that game. So I think they'll for sure make it a close game and bring it down to the wire no matter what.
Well, and just a couple more thoughts here. Again, I don't know if Dylan Edwards plays. I don't know if I don't know what his status is. I wish I did. It'd give me a clear vision of this game. We'll see when we get there. We won't hear from Chris Kleiman this week. To comment on KU's offense, what does make them scary is Jalen Daniels is having his best season. He's thrown for 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1,700 yards. He's completing 70% of his passes. Emmanuel Henderson Jr. has been a great pickup for them. I mean, he's having a great year. He's over 500 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. I don't know if just Deshaun Hannigan, them losing him for the year, I still don't know how much of an impact that's going to be. Again, losing the way they did to Texas Tech. Texas Tech is just a really good team. I think you take some of that into consideration, but it snowballed on them real bad. Real bad. I mean, the pass rush from Tech just ate up KU like they've never – it was probably one of the worst performances in the Lance Leipold era in that area. 8 sacks is a terrible day. But yet, you don't have Toby Osunsami. I mean, there's just a lot of wishes you could have for this game that just kind of take away of K-State's where they might have an advantage in that game. Because now we'll still need to see guys continue to step up and lead to leadership on that defensive line who have been kind of having an up and down year this season. I would say that as the defensive line as a whole.
That the last caller was Dave G, saying that he was as anxious for this game as he was when Florida ran the full court press trying to get you to go down to the swamp for some PA duties.
I've been nervous about this game since this summer. So I just had a feeling about KU that this just could be their year. And I've been arguing with myself, do I want to go to this game? And ever since I mentioned that, I think it was last week, the whole press box, you're not going to go to KU, are you? I was like, I just don't want to see it happen in person. Really, to me, we could talk a lot about, yes, K-State has improved. KU's lost 2 of their last 3 and throw that into the equation. Mitch Palm it to death and say this is what the results are going to be. I just don't think that honestly matters. I really don't. I mean, the gloves are off in this situation. Typically KU, this is their Super Bowl. Well, this year it's K-State's Super Bowl. This is the big one. This is the one to play for. You know what I mean? You just hope that you have enough Kansas kids, and it helps, though, you've won 2 of your last 3. The motivation should be there. You have enough Kansas kids that know what this game means. They'll preach to the rest of the guys about what this game means and how they don't want to be the ones to where the streak ends on them. You know what I mean?
100%.
Let's take a break. When we come back, TV times and for K-State men's basketball, what it would cost you to watch all of the men's basketball games on TV this year. That's coming up next, The Game.
This poor man is crying. Why? He missed the game. You know, you can always check out The Game podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and at newsradiokman.com.
Get the last roof you'll ever need with steel roofing from Menards. Steel roofing is durable, offering your home the best protection from wind, hail, and fire. Choose from 29 stylish colors to enhance the appearance of your home. Available in cut-to-your-length panels that cover a large area quickly for fast installation. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all our great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
For 61 years, Burnett Automotive has proudly served the community, and now it's time to celebrate. Get a $50 instant rebate on sets of 4 Goodyear tires. Cash back the moment you buy. Add Goodyear's mail-in rebates and save up to $200 total. Plus, up to $75 off alignment packages. Choose from 6-month, 3-year, or lifetime options. Visit your nearest store for details. 6 locations in Johnson County and 3 in Manhattan, or online at BurnettAuto.com. All tires, all brands, all services.
Blueville Nursery's Horticulture Hints radio show comes to your radio every Friday morning at 10 a.m. We will discuss timely gardening and landscape topics to help you keep your lawn and garden in tip-top shape. Blueville Nursery has been your local landscape service and garden store for over 50 years, and we want to share our time-tested techniques with you. From vegetable gardening, spring and summer annuals, to shade trees and lawn care, we'll cover it all. You're welcome to call into the show to ask questions that apply to your own landscape or garden. Stay tuned to Blueville Nursery's Horticulture Hints radio show every Friday at 10 a.m. right here on News Radio KMAN.
Hi, I'm Scott Seal, candidate for City Commission. If you're like me, you're tired of politicians making promises that sound nice but don't add up, like running for student council promising pop in the drinking fountains. Lately, we've seen candidates and even some city commissioners more focused on appealing to their supporters than making the tough, responsible decisions for our community. I'm not here to play political games. I'm here to solve problems, bring people together, and get things done for our city. Paid for by Scott Seal for City Commission, Cheryl Grice, Treasurer.
Caregiving can be incredibly demanding, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Let Leonardville Nursing Home provide you and your loved one with Senior Day services, available Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 with prior arrangements. Run your errands, go to work or appointments while we provide compassionate care for your senior. Our trained, caring staff provides nutritious meals, social activities, and a safe, supporting environment. Contact Leonardville Nursing Home for Senior Day services, an invaluable solution for both caregivers and seniors.
Are you prepared for the future? Ensuring your legacy and protecting your loved ones start with estate planning from Adair Law. From wills to trust to powers of attorney, the team at Adair Law will create a personalized plan that reflects your wishes and secures your assets for generations to come. Thinking about the future isn't always easy, but planning your estate can be. With Adair Law, you can protect what matters most, your family and your legacy. Don't leave their future to chance. Secure your peace of mind today with Adair Law. Protecting clients with compassion is what they do. Call 785-776-2000 today.
Hiya! Queen of All Knowledge here, reminding you, creeps out there on the internet hack, scam, and trick savvy cyber users every day, but we can fight back. It's as easy as IC3. If you're a victim of online crime, don't give up. Visit IC3, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. Your tips help the FBI track down cyber criminals around the world. Report your crime to www.ic3.gov today.
For area high school scores, recaps, league standings, and coach interviews, check out Scoreboard Saturday at 8 a.m. during football and basketball season, including coverage of the Centennial League, NCKL, Big East League, Flint Hills League, and the Twin Valley League. Scoreboard Saturday on News Radio KMAN is powered by WTC Communications. I'm Cole Betchendorf with a Game Sports update brought to you by Bottle Cap Sports Bar. Former K-State forward Kennedy Taylor has been denied a waiver to play a fifth season with the Wildcats, head coach Jeff Mittie announced Tuesday morning at his preseason press conference.
Yeah, the NCAA denied it 2 weeks ago. Kennedy and her family filed an appeal. That's where it sits.
The process, which Mittie said began in February, took 8 months to wrap up, frustrating everyone involved.
They keep changing the goalpost. This would have been a case 95% previously. And too often, in my opinion, they want to treat things the same. Let's keep in mind what this player is. This is a player that she either is out of eligibility, so she either needs to get a job, go play overseas, and you're asking me this question in October. And I cannot figure out why you can't make this decision in June.
K-State is still holding out hope that Taylor can win in an appeal process. She averaged 7 points and 4.6 rebounds last season. K-State women's basketball was among the 9 teams receiving votes that did not make the preseason AP Top 25 poll that was released Tuesday morning. Defending national champ UConn topped the list with 4 Big 12 teams inside the top 25: Iowa State, Baylor, TCU, and Oklahoma State. 2 others received votes alongside K-State, West Virginia with 17 and KU with 7. K-State finished with 15.
I'd like to dedicate this song to our former host who called in the last segment, David G. I miss that guy. Gotta stay. I gotta stay. YouTube viewers, you are missing out.
It is familiar, by the way.
Okay. It's 3-6 Mafia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanted to say that earlier, but I didn't want to spit it out and then make myself look like a fool for not recognizing 3-6 Mafia.
I think they say it in the beginning of the
that.
song, too.
Oh, do they? What year did this song come out? I want to guess this is like a 2008. Feels like a 2008 song.
A little bit before that, 2005.
Oh, hell. Excuse me. I would have been a freshman in high school when this song came out.
There you go.
Can you believe that? And look at me.
All grown up.
Stand fly till I die.
Yeah.
We're back on the game. Mitch Fortner with Cole Dutchendorf. Earlier today, K-State men's basketball, they, along with the Big 12, the Big 12 put this big old announcement out there. Nobody's going to read that whole thing. So luckily, all the teams put out their own graphics as well. And we now know with, the announcement, we already know of the teams K-State's going to play. And now we have the order of the schedule. And now we know the times they're going to tip off, things like that. Your biggest takeaway, Cole, you mentioned it earlier to me in the office, was what?
It's a pretty friendly schedule in terms of you're not playing a ton of games, different. It's none of the Saturday, Monday, which there was a couple of those last year. I think specifically the trip to Utah, which did not end up being a very fun one for K-State. But it lays out pretty well, but also there's just a ton of channels that the K-State's going to be playing on over the course of the season. So it's friendly for the team in terms of the schedule, maybe not as friendly for the viewer.
There's going to be twice where K-State plays back-to-back road games in Big 12 play, but you're right. My big takeaway was what you just said. There are no Saturday, Monday playing twice in 3 days on this schedule. Now, what you're not going to be a big fan of hearing, maybe, especially if you're, you hate these streaming sources. I want everything on DirecTV. One place. Give me ESPN or give me Fox, and that's it. And, it's like the same people that have to go to Facebook to ask what channel the game is on. You know what I mean? But I still, in a way, understand that frustration. I get it. It'd be a lot easier if the game was just on Fox Sports Net every day, but it's not going to be. A lot of other channels starting to dip their toes into the Big 12 pool of, hey, we want to broadcast some of these games. Let me help you out. We'll put some of your games on our channels, like with football, like TNT. And I got to say, I think TNT's done a good job with that being revamped on the Turner on the Turner channels. And that's where K-State KU will be a week from Saturday, 11 a.m. on TNT. By the way, a lot of people complaining about that kickoff time. I think that was the right time for that game. Let's get it over with,
Yeah, I agree.
There are a few strange tip-off times, like some 8:30s in there, like a game at TCU is going to tip off at 8:30. And there was a 9 o'clock game,
and
right?
It's not in Mountain Time. It's against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it's on the road at Gallagher-Iba, a Saturday night, 9 o'clock tip-off on CBS Sports Network.
I don't know if the teams are going to stay up for that one. I mean, that's like, my goodness, we're just throwing this as late in the day as possible.
All right, let me break it down for you. K-State in conference play will play 9 games on ESPN+. Most of the non-con will be on Plus as well. 8 will be on Fox channels, as in Fox, as in FS1. I like that. like them stepping up, more games on Fox. I mean, the KU game that's going to be here, it's a Saturday night, 7 o'clock, primetime action. It's going to be on Fox. I think that's a great spot for that game.
For sure.
You're going to be watching the game. You get some round ball rock with K-State KU. The other K-State KU game is going to be on CBS.
And they did a good job last year, I thought.
Wrapping up the regular season in Lawrence. CBS game, 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. CBS, there's going to be 6 games. CBS and CBS Sports Network. 6 games going to be played. 5 will be on streaming. That will be Peacock. Okay, so you're going to have to subscribe to Peacock, which it's going to cost you $10.99. ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU will have 4 games. Folks, there is a chance that K-State does not play a single game on ESPN this year. Which, let me just say this. I'm kind of fine with that. Because to me, ESPN just isn't as cool as it used to be. It's not as cool to play on ESPN, in my opinion.
It doesn't have as much aura.
I think Fox and CBS does a much better job with their production, the broadcast, the overall quality of a game.
It seems like there's more effort there.
Yeah, ESPN, they're just trying to get as many games on as possible. Just keep it moving.
An oversaturation of college athletics during the early winter.
That, and I'm sure the ESPN is more interested in shoving the SEC down our throats a little bit more. And then, let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So if you wanted to watch all these games and you don't have like YouTube TV, you're just subscribing to all these different apps, Fox would cost you $20 a month. ESPN Unlimited at $30 a month, $8 for Paramount, that's where you could go to watch the CBS games, and then Peacock would be $10.99 a month. So I did the math: 6 months, all of that together would cost you before taxes $413.76. To be honest with you, that actually might be a cheaper route than just subscribing to. I mean, just using as an example, YouTube TV, that where you could get a lot of these games in one area, one app. It may be cheaper to use all these different apps, but you don't get all the quad boxes and stuff like that, you know?
By the way, I'd say 7 months because they'll be playing in early April as well.
Well, that's why I counted for it. It would be about 6 months.
6 months and like a week, basically.
Yeah, you get started in November,
they win the national championship.
November, then through April. There's your
I was accounting for
months.
Final Four weekend was what I was thinking.
That's April.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm doing. Well, you don't trust my math? Look, when I was in grade school, math, fractions, clocks, that was my jam.
The clocks.
I was getting B pluses, man. I was cruising. I was feeling good. No studying.
You were acing the times tables?
Yes. Remember, did you ever do this gimmick in grade school where your teacher would hand you a piece of paper, have it face down, and on the other side would be like 100.
It was my favorite, man. I love those.
Multiplication problems.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to do it as fast as you possibly can. I probably set records. There's banners.
I honestly think
in Mrs. Blake's room, banners, because I got one done in like 3 minutes one time.
Shout out to Mason's uncle, Mr. Schrog, who was my teacher when I was doing those the most in 4th grade.
All right, we got to wrap up the show next because coming in just a moment, Powerhouse Hobbs from AEW will help us wrap up the show here on KMAN.
Your home for K-State sports.
Here's Schrader extending the play. He's going to try and run for it. Leaps, gets spun around down to the 20-yard line. Where will they spot the football? It looks like he's short by a yard.
This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
You've heard the expression, it's what's on the inside that counts. At Schultz Construction, they couldn't agree more. Starting with the foundation and everything inside the walls, Schultz Construction is committed to making sure the things you don't see in a house are as good as the finishing touches you do see. From custom homes to commercial buildings, Schultz Construction takes pride in their quality control from start to finish. Schultz Construction, building trusted relationships through the development of quality neighborhoods.
It's hard to understand people on TV, so you use closed caption because you can't understand or hear them. Guess what? You don't have to live like that. I know because I solved my hearing loss with the help of hearing aids from Focus Hearing, a locally owned hearing center that offers all major brands. They accept all Medicare plans and have better pricing than the national franchises. Let Focus Hearing let you hear again. 913-380-4200 or online at myfocushearing.com.
AEW Dynamite tomorrow night. It's a 3-hour special along with an hour of Collision from Cable Dahmer Arena, Independence, Missouri. And him in the Ops defending the Trios Championships tomorrow night. We're now joined by Will Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm finally glad we got connected here, as we've had a couple of delays because of, I understand you had some issues just getting into Kansas City the last day or two. Is that right?
Oh, man, it was crazy. I was flying in from San Francisco. I was supposed to go from San Francisco to Salt Lake City and Salt Lake to KC here. And I was supposed to get in late last night. And just the weather in Northern California was crazy. So I ended up having to reroute my flight from Frisco to Atlanta, then Atlanta here. So I got in this morning.
Well, hopefully you don't have a whole lot on your plate. You can maybe get a nap in or something here very soon.
It's all part of the business, man. So,
Yeah, I understand. We got hectic lives, and certainly professional wrestlers, I think, have some of the hardest jobs that there's out there, no doubt about it, when it comes to demand, where you need to be, when you need to be.
Yeah.
The other day, got to speak with Tony Khan. What a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
I would love to know what it's like working for Tony Khan.
Tony's a great person. I've had few people in my life that will look me in my eye and listen to me. Tony's one of the few people. My mother passed away 4 years ago. I found out recently, he helped with my mom's arrangements. So, that speaks a lot about him. But he's passionate about wrestling. When you come through the curtain, the first person to stand up, first person you see. And it's not like, what was that or anything. First thing is always out of his mouth is, are you okay? So you can tell he genuinely means that. So he's passionate about it, man. The dude's an almanac of wrestling knowledge, So he's telling me stuff about house shows back in the day. So he, and every pay-per-view and, sometime how long the match went. So he's a passionate person about this business.
Well, you know what? I'm sure, I believe you joined AEW about 5 years ago, and I'm sure obviously there was something.
Yeah, I just did 5 years.
Yeah, there was something Tony saw in you, but you're 2025, man. I got to say, you got to be having one of the best runs of anybody in AEW this year, especially being 1/3 of the Trios champions, which you'll have a match tomorrow night in Kansas City. What's been your favorite part of 2025 so far?
Anarchy in the Arena and winning the Trios championship, because I wasn't even in the picture to be a part of the Ops. I don't know if anybody knows it or if I should say it, but I'm gonna say it. I was a last minute thing. People know that Hook and I have a great relationship. It's like a big brother, little brother. We were in a Team Taz together, and all my singles matches when I was with Team Taz, he was in my corner. So we have a great relationship, and it's kind of like, why not have my big brother fill in for me? But it took off. I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. I vowed to myself when I got injured against John Moxley in 2024 that my rehab, I was in the gym 5 days after surgery. I started rehab 4 days after surgery. So my rehab was Monday through Saturday, 3 hours a day. I was in the gym 2 hours a day. So my job was to come back better than what I was. And I proved that.
Yeah, you've put in your hard work in the ring and also in the gym. I mean, for those that know you, you're Powerhouse Hobbs. You show that with your physique. I would love to know, speaking of the gym, I want to know what your least favorite thing to do. What's the part of working out that maybe you don't look forward to?
It used to be just going in there. There's times I wake up, man, I got to do this. But once I'm in there, everything just switches. It's like a different light. So it would depend on what I'm listening to or what motivates me that morning when I'm in the gym. It's how can I be better? And then it's kind of this thing where it's like I've been telling myself, excuse my language, but I woke up today and everybody else is So that's the way I look at it. I'm waking up today, so nobody's gonna outwork me or outdo me.
Powerhouse Hobbs is our guest. He's from AEW, 1/3 of the Trios champions. Are you one of those that, I say those as in, I mean, you have the body of a bodybuilder, that you eat like 6,500 calories a day?
No, I don't track it. I just eat. I just eat. I know what I have to eat and how much, and I don't overindulge. I eat a lot. I eat a lot of small meals throughout the day, just because I find that works for me. Versus eating a meal that's 1,500 calories and feeling like a slug, right after. So I keep moving and have my meals, hit my macros, eat my protein, my carbs, my fats in. So it's you kind of got to be in tune to how your body works.
Well, you're in the capital of barbecue, and I know AEW, a part of the promotion for tomorrow night's show is having some of the wrestlers talk about their favorite barbecue or barbecue spots wherever they're from.
I'm gonna get me a little taste while I'm out here. I'm gonna give me a little cue while I'm out here.
All right, you're gonna go to Q?
No, I'm gonna get a little barbecue. You tell me where I should go.
All right, I got a couple of ideas for you. If you ever been to Joe's, I suggest Joe's. There's 2 locations. There's one that's attached to a convenience store. That's the location you want to go to.
Okay, Joe's. I can remember that. If this isn't hitting, I'm gonna have to find you and hit you with a spine buster.
I will be there tomorrow night. So if you don't mind, if I need to use a wrestling term, if there's a receipt that needs to be cashed in, I guess I deserve it. I'll give you another one just to be safe. Q39. That's more of a fancier type of place, or Jack Stack. I could give you 20 pesos.
I need the hole in the wall, that gritty stuff. So I'm gonna check Joe's out.
Speaking of barbecue, of course, leads me to my next question. Let's talk cheat meal. What's your go-to cheat meal?
Oh, man, it depends. If I'm around my kids, it may be cereal. Usually it's like French toast.
Ooh.
I love me some French toast. French toast is probably it. It's either cereal or French toast. I'm not a big dessert eater like ice cream and cake, and unless it's like a peach cobbler, or a sweet potato pie, I'll tear that up, But it's probably French toast or cereal.
You mentioned if I gave you the wrong recommendations, which I don't have one for French toast, but you mentioned Spine Buster. Like, do you have a favorite Spine Buster from somebody else in the business, or is there one that you saw that you try to replicate in the ring as your own?
One of them, man, this probably Arn Anderson. That guy has been good to me my whole career. We talked the other day on the phone, and just to get his blessing when I did the Spine Buster when he was with AEW. He pulled me aside and said, that was a hell of a spine buster. That was great. And I'm like, oh, man, come on now. Nothing's better than yours. And he, looked me dead in my eye. I was like, yeah, just keep using it. So if I can get the blessing from the GOAT, I'm gonna keep using it.
I've heard of the legends. He's one of the best hangs. Do you hang out with him much?
I have hung out with him a few times, but it's that dude is full of knowledge. And anytime he can give me some advice, I'm shutting up and I'm listening.
Well, Powerhouse Hobbs, I want to get to in just a second what's coming up tomorrow night. You have maybe the biggest match on the card, defending the Trios Championships with Katsuyori Shibata and Samoa Joe. But there's 2 questions that we ask every wrestler that comes on the show. The first one is, my favorite sound is a crowd pop. I can see as a wrestling fan that how intoxicating that could be for a performer. So, do you have a favorite crowd pop of all time?
Man, anytime I'm hitting somebody, the crowd chants me. It's like they love it. You're attending the show tomorrow. Watch when I hit one of the members of LFI that meat chant. It's catchy. It fits me, and you can hear it all over the arena.
The other question is, but your personal wrestling Mount Rushmore, and it could be any way you want to go about it, just your 4 on a Mount Rushmore.
4. I have to go with Stone Cold. For me personally, I got to go with Shawn Michaels. Oh, man, it's a tough one. I'm going to go with... I've been watching a lot of him lately, and it's probably Chono.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of him lately.
Now, we're about the same age. Like, when you mentioned Ron Simmons, who, of course, was Farouk, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, did you ever watch him wrestle live?
Yeah. I actually got to hang out with him a few times at some conventions. He had a hell of a spine buster, too.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's actually, yes, you're right about that. That's right. Because Bradshaw had the clothesline, Farouk with the... Oh, that's right. Yeah, the ministry.
The APA days, man.
Tomorrow night, Kansas City's Cable Dahmer Arena, AEW Dynamite and Collision. It's a 3-hour special. And, of course, Powerhouse Hobbs, you're on the card. You have one of the biggest matches of the night. The Ops puts the Trios Tag Team Championships on the line. For those that are maybe thinking about going to this matchup, thinking about buying tickets and wanting to see AEW in person, what do you have to say about this matchup coming up tomorrow night and what AEW brings to the table when it comes to a live show?
We're like a pot of gumbo. We got all type of different flavors that we bring. It's nonstop action, great wrestling. You know, it's something for the whole family. That every member of your family will find something that they love. You know, you get your tickets at AEWTix.com or Ticketmaster. So, you know, it's great. We're going to be on TBS, streaming on HBO Max. So it's like, I don't know if you had gumbo before, but you get all those different flavors and feels, and it hits your palate. Like, man, that's what AEW is.
All right, well, Powerhouse Hobbs, can't wait for this show tomorrow night. Really appreciate you stopping by to talk to us for a few moments, and we'll see you at Cable Dahmer tomorrow. Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Hobbs joining us here on the game, and that's going to wrap it up. Tickets for tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite/Collision starting at 7 o'clock on TBS is at AEWTix.com, and that is going to wrap it up for today's show. I'm taking tomorrow off to be at AEW. I've been invited by AEW to go attend along with Lindsay, so we're very much looking forward to that show, and I'll be back with you on Thursday, but Cole is hosting tomorrow, Mason Voth from KSU Online, the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, and a whole lot more. For Cole, I'm Mitch. Go Cats.